Hey everybody, Papa Wiggs here with Wiggs. We're going to talk about waiver wire pickups before week 4 here. Let me just jump right in. A couple of these guys are, probably are out there already, and that we talked about before. But let's see. My first one here, Alan Lazard. I still think he's worth picking up. He's only rostered on 39% of the sleeper teams right now. Uh, and, again, he had a decent week. He's not going to be somebody that you're going to be able to be dependent on every week, but I do think that he's worth, putting on your roster. And if you're looking for some receiver help, or some depth for bye weeks, could be someone you can consider. Next guy I got on here is Cade Otton. Again, Cade, he's only, rostered at 19% of on 19% of the teams in sleeper. I like Cade Otton. He hasn't had huge games yet, but he had a decent game this past week. I think he's definitely a tight end that you want to keep your eye on. You could look at possibly, again having him on the bench and bye week, replacement. Um, yeah. So, anyways, yeah, this past week he had 7 receptions for 47 yards. So someone to keep an eye on. Next guy, Justice Hill. I believe him and Lazard both were on my last one.
Yep.
And I still think Hill should be rostered on teams. Right now he's currently only on 29% of the teams on sleeper. So he's definitely someone that you could look at depending on the matchup as a possible flex or even a bye week replacement. Next guy that's still out there, big week this week, Juan Jennings. Wiggs called it. Got to give him props on that one. He's only owned on 44% of the teams out on sleeper right now. Until we know more about what's going on with Debo Samuel, then Juan's going to be a big part of this offense. So definitely try to snag him if you can. Last guy on my list is Zach Ertz for the Commanders. Last couple games, Daniels has been looking his way. I've been a little bit surprised. I thought that Sanat was going to be a bigger target for them, but Zach Ertz is definitely another tight end to keep a look at during the waiver wire period. He's only on 30% of the teams on sleeper. Definitely could be a bye week replacement or injury replacement for a tight end.
Yeah, so for me, I still have 3 guys from last week on it. You actually had 2 in Lazard and Jennings, and then you had Justice Hill after week 1. But I still have 3 guys from last week here in Juan Jennings, Darnell Mooney, and Demarcus Robinson. Juan Jennings, obviously, with 175 yards and 3 touchdowns, I think he's definitely someone you have to look at. I think Brock Purdy does rely on him quite a bit. Even when Debo's in the offense, I think Juan Jennings could be a possible flex option from week to week, depending on matchups. Aside from him, Darnell Mooney, I think honestly right now is looking more so to the wide receiver one in my eyes at this current moment. I think he's getting quite a few more looks there than Drake London. They both had the same amount of targets yesterday, but Mooney's finding openings a lot easier, and Cousins is finding it easier to throw him the ball. He caught the ball, I think, 8 of 8 times yesterday, or 8 of 10 times, something around those lines. Drake London's only caught like 50% of the balls thrown his way from Cousins so far. So for me, it's someone to keep an eye on. He's not gone for like a whole lot of big plays. He only had one against the Eagles last week that went for a really long play, but he's been reliable, and Cousins does look his way a lot. And I think that'll continue to happen until Cousins starts looking Pitts his way a little bit more. And then Demarcus Robinson, I just think there's a few receivers here on this Rams offense that you could potentially look at prior to Kupp and Nakua coming back, and I think Tutu Atwell is another one of those guys. They both, in my eyes, are the wide receiver 1 and 2. Even though the ball was spread around a lot to receivers this week, I totally could see Robinson having some big games here coming up. At Tutu Atwell as well, I could possibly see having some good games. He started off the year last year at Puka Nakua, and Stafford did like to look his way quite a bit there in the first 3 weeks. So I wouldn't doubt it if Stafford continues to look his way this week. He had about 90 yards there receiving yesterday, so I wouldn't be shocked if that continues to be the case. And then lastly, this might be a little bit of a hot take right now, and I might be changing my mind here in a week on this. I'm going to say Kareem Hunt to the Chiefs. The Chiefs' run game is just not the same without Pacheco. Nothing against Steele. He did pretty well with 76 yards there, but it was kind of a slow start to the game that didn't really come around until the second half on literally one drive. So I wouldn't doubt it if Kareem Hunt is thrown into the mix, and we've all seen what Hunt can do. He, at any given point, can break off for a 40-yard touchdown in any given offense. He did it last year when he came in to the Browns later, I think around the same time, week 3, week 4, broke off quite a few 40-yard runs, and I wouldn't doubt it in this offense if he did the same exact thing.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not. It's hard to know because Kareem's coming into a new. I mean, yeah, he played for the Chiefs, but he's still coming in new, and they've tweaked things. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I think that's it on the waiver wire, right, Wigs? I don't think there's anything else we have to add. So make sure you check us out on Fantasy Fools PPR on YouTube, and we're also out on Snapchat, X, TikTok, Instagram. Like, share, subscribe. Provide us any feedback that you have. If you got any lineup questions, that's great as well. And hopefully you guys are finding this as another resource that you can come to. And we'll until next time, we'll see you soon.